welcome to this shortwave radio channel. And if you've seen a few videos, this is my new baby. And if you've seen the live show, it was in action. This is something that comes from a garage sale that was just across the street from here. So I went up and started looking around and noticed that what looked like radios. This is a Westinghouse International AM and 3 shortwave bands radio. It is a tube receiver made somewhere from 1947 to 1951. So I'll kind of tag it as 1950-ish. That means that this radio is more than 70 years old. And it works well. If you look at my videos where I use it, you'll notice that it works quite well. Now, it's not in perfect condition, but it's in pretty good condition. And it actually works really amazingly well. If we look at the radio's circuit in the back, it's just this here. There we go. First thing that I noticed, which of course made me purchase it, is how clean it is. This is beautiful, actually, inside. And this is the model 6 Tango 104. So 6T104. And here you see that there's a serial number. So, of course, here on the bottom left, you've got the antenna jack. You've got a ground jack, and there's a little piece of metal that you can put between these two terminals here if you want to have the internal antenna. There's a ferrite here, as you see. Pretty long one, too. And it has 2 coils, which I suspect one is for shortwave, one is for AM. Nice big speaker there. Nice rich sound, pretty good sound, actually. Definitely works well. I haven't taken out the frame to see the insides underneath here, because you got the tubes on the top, but underneath there's all the circuitry cables. I am looking at how some of the cables have been changed, and I can see here that this is not the original cord. In 1950, you did not have a cord that looked like that when you actually were purchasing a radio. So I'm almost wondering if they did not, whoever owned it before might have actually not only changed the cord, but maybe even changed the capacitors. I wouldn't be surprised, but for that, I need to actually remove the base of this radio here and check inside. So this is going to be something that I'll be doing eventually, because I'm curious to see how it is, and I'll make the video when I do so. But it won't be right now because it works well, and I don't want to mess it up too much or, stress it too much with what I'm going to do. So, nice radio made in 1950-ish, as I say. More than 70 years. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. 70 years for a radio is truly amazing. It's standard tubes that were used at the time that are inside the 6 Kilo 7 Sierra, the 6 Queen 7 Sierra, and so on. All the set of tubes that were used in those radios of the day. It's nice to see. So its coverage is, of course, AM 550 to 1600 kilohertz, which was a standard AM band at the time. One thing that is curious to me is that they added 1.8 to 3.1 megahertz, which technically is medium wave, but they called it shortwave 1. And it jumps from 3.1 to 5.9, and this is interesting to me. I wonder why the 60-meter tropical band was not in here. I wonder why they really did a gap here, because from 10 to 10.4 here, there's no gap on the 2 other ones. So I suspect these 2 here are on one circuit. These 2 here are on another circuit. And that would explain the gap between 3.1 and 5.9 megahertz. So here from 5.9, you have pretty much complete coverage up to 18 megahertz. So it's kind of nice. You got the major band. You don't have, of course, 13 meters or 11 meters. You don't have 60 meters, as I said, but and you don't have the European band also, which was 75 meters. So, but it's an interesting coverage. I just find the gap here kind of interesting. But like I said, I suspect that this is on a circuit, so the AM band and here are tuned with the same circuit, and I suspect that the upper part here is tuned with a different type of circuit. So that would explain why. Apart from that, works well, sounds good, and apart from maybe a little cleanup, it's pretty interesting. So the Westinghouse International 6104 from 1950-ish, like I said, was apparently made from anywhere from 1947 to 1951, 52. So it is pretty old, older than I actually thought it was gonna be. I put this radio when I purchased it. In my head, I put this radio in the late 50s to early 60s by the looks of it and its weight. But it seems it's older than that. It's really from the late 40s to early 50s. So more videos will be coming, of course, of me tuning around with this beautiful radio. One thing of interest, I tried my magnetic loop, which is the MLA30 on it. Doesn't work well, and it kind of figures that radios of this kind, which don't have the same input as modern radios, which are pretty much all 50 ohms, probably doesn't like an MLA30 because it's a different type of antenna. But once I put my end-fed antenna from my Yaesu, which is technically a long wire, well, you know what? It comes to life and works extremely well on that antenna. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to easily switch from, I was thinking I got an antenna switch here that is capable of up to 1 kilowatt of power. I was thinking that maybe that could be a manual switch from one radio to the other when I need to listen to the bands on this. And thinking of where I'm going to actually put this so it has its own beautiful spot and its own beautiful visibility of when I do the live shows. I want it to be there and be ready to work all the time. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.